That's what you usually do.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're not doing it yet, right? Did you plug it in?
Yeah. Okay.
We give our live audience a seizure.
You should do it when you go live. Make it a certain color.
Yeah.
Glenn, you
Laugh now.
can start recording, Glenn.
He's recording.
Oh, it's recording. And then, ready, Chapin? Okay, so I'm gonna get ready to do the clapper now. Okay. Is that good on the levels?
Yeah.
Cool. So, all right. So usually what we'll do now is Kyle usually starts the 10 seconds of silence, and then as soon as before Amit gets mad at me. Okay, and everybody is good? Okay. Here we go. 100th episode. Ready? Okay. Ready whenever you are. Okay, Reed.
Yes, sir. All right. We're going to count down. Well, we don't really count. We just get everyone got to be quiet. The reason why we do it is to cancel out background noise. So we need to hear what the background's going to be like so we can cancel it out so it doesn't sound like a train's driving by while we're recording. So, on 3, we're going to count down 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
There's some issues there. Okay. Ready, everyone?
Ready.
100. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another edition of your favorite podcast, the GYST Podcast, also known as Get Your
Shit!
Together.
I think the rest of us forgot that part.
Yeah, I did that. I have my shit
It's good that you got
Yeah.
us. I'm taken care of.
Glad you're here, buddy.
Yeah.
So, audience who are listening to us today is a very, very huge episode, and we'll get to that in a second. But I am Rohila.
Kamal Kalra. I'm at Bardwaj on the mic.
And Kyle Reed.
And Glenn Ruggs.
Oh, my man.
That's my life back there.
Sorry, everybody didn't get what I was just Glenn got that.
Yeah. Well, he's important.
Duh.
He's our graphics guy.
Well, he's got a role, so.
That's right. I
Yeah.
fill that role.
Or whatever.
Yeah, same thing.
Well, audience, so those of you who are listening to us through podcast, this is our 100th episode. So September 1st, 2015 was our very first recording, and we've come a long way. And so to help us celebrate are a whole bunch of our closest friends. So say hi, everybody.
Hi.
There you go. The first, that was kind of nice.
That was really good. That was a long
Yeah.
time.
I can get used to this. I don't know about you guys.
Shut up.
And
50 people upstairs every recording night.
so 2 special thank yous as well. One to Carlina DeLauro. Did I say it right? Yeah, for she's going to be taking pictures of us. And Jathan Bardwaj, who is who?
My nephew.
All right, his nephew.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be videoing, so for those who are watching this on YouTube, you can thank him. So with that,
Sore back there?
A little bit.
Keep it steady. Keep it steady.
and you can move around, take pictures of like the people who are here and stuff like that too.
Will do.
Oh, me too?
Yeah.
No, you're relegated to that chair.
You guys.
So as a special toast, we got some nice bubbly cider.
This is don't turn you on.
The podcast people don't know. This is the best stuff we could find.
Jay-Z was mad because we bought all the Ace of Spade at the liquor store.
Clean out Vegas.
Yeah, we did.
Fireball.
Straight from a soda stream.
Wrong way.
An artesian well. In the liquid.
So with that, fellas,
Oh my god.
thank you very much for being a part of this. Everyone,
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers.
Hi,
You should have got more. It's actually good.
It's not bad. It's very bright.
It's the best ever.
You know, I'm not a big fan of grape. It's actually
It's really good.
Pleasant?
Pleasant.
That's the word you use to describe this?
I
chose?
Yes, I did use
Quite pleasant. Not nearly as painful as anal. But take it.
Whoa. What is that?
Christina, we have Christina Galra. No children.
Okay, there's no children.
Yeah, no children.
On that note, happy 100.
So one of the things that we really wanted to do was just kind of reflect on how this came about. To not only share with the audience at home, but really, we're not even paying attention to the microphones because we're talking to all of you guys. Because you guys are here in support of us. Whether or not you even knew we were going to do this thing or not, all of you guys have played a big role. And so it was, maybe about August of that year?
What year? Well, first year?
Yeah. August or maybe even before.
I'm not sure what you're referring to exactly.
Yeah, so Kyle agrees. So
I 100% agree. I 100%.
So it was about August 2015 that I had this idea. I'd known Kyle for several years.
Before the podcast started, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. August has been about almost a year into it.
Was that about August? Let's go with it.
Yeah, give or take. Yeah. Like, well, maybe a little sooner, July, August, something like that. But yeah, that makes sense.
So it's about July. Kyle and I have these conversations all the time. A lot of the stuff that you guys hear on air. And I just had the idea, I'm having these conversations, these fantastic conversations with people anyways. Why not just stick a microphone in between us and call it a podcast? And so myself, Kyle Reed, Christian Cloud, one day I talked to Kyle, I talked to Christian, everyone's on board. And interesting that Matt Badgley is with us.
Yeah.
And he has no idea why he's looking so nervous right now.
Does he even remember?
I don't think he does.
And he doesn't drink, so he has no excuse.
I know.
So Kyle, Christian, and I are walking around, and it's a beautiful day outside, and we're trying to think of names for the podcast. And the name of the podcast, believe it or not, was going to be something like Personal Development for the Average Person. Like,
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's terrible, right?
Terrible. And so we're feeling pumped about that too. We're like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. People are gonna really like it. They're gonna be drawn to it. And then we're getting back into the building, and who do we see, Kyle?
Badgley walking out.
And what did we ask him?
You just said, hey, what do you think? What would you call it? And he would just say, just get your shit together. It was just like so matter of fact. And we all looked at each other like, that's fucking perfect. What? Badgley. This is like fate right here. Then we walked around. First of all, Rohit did one of his awkward Rohit introductions.
What?
I'm sure all of you have had one.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, this is Joe. He likes Legos. Or whatever, right? Whatever, something that he can find to connect to. He did that to Christian and I. Christian, have you met Kyle? Kyle, have you met Christian yet? No. Hey, what's up? Oh, awesome. And walks off. What are you doing? So that was before we had walked around, but then when we ran into Badgley afterwards, it was just like light bulb. Bing, yeah. That's done. That's the title. We're doing it. And I think that was a huge turning point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether you know it or not, or even remember it, Badgley.
I don't remember it, but it sounds like some shit that I would say.
It really does. It really does.
And for those listening, yes, it is the same Matt Badgley who's been on air with us before. So
Yeah.
thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Take
a bow.
Yeah, it went from there. Episode 1, Kyle and Christian come over, and we go into the studio. And really, it was just nothing but like this empty room and a table. And so we're sitting around, and we're like, okay, guys, like we're going to do this. And we're talking to each other about the different strategies involved on how to do a podcast and when to do it, and topics and things like that. And so I knew that we had to record that day, or otherwise we would lose a lot of momentum. So I walked over, hit record, and I was like, all right, let's do it. And they did not look very happy. And so...
Oh,
Oh.
Sorry.
And so they did not want to do it, but we did it anyways, right?
Yeah. Wasn't it supposed to be just a strategy session?
It was.
And you were like, because we met at your house, I think, once or twice before that, if I remember right.
I think that was the very first one, because I
Was
remember
it?
taking a picture afterwards of the three of us.
Yeah. I can't remember if I was recording. I forget. Anyway, but you were like, let's just do it. And we were like, no. Maybe, I guess. I don't even listen to podcasts. I don't know what to say on one.
Lo and behold. And
Yeah.
so, since then, we have expanded, and first one who came up is the guy who's always on the mic.
On a cartilage. On the mic.
Love him.
So, what has been your experience with everything? I know you've mentioned quite a bit about,
Yeah. A lot of the podcasts. Sorry, I know I'm always a quiet one on the podcast, but listening to the podcast, not being on the team, there was a lot of episodes that kind of hit home, and one of them was sitting on nails. Pretty much the concept of the episode is that you get so used to sitting on this nail that you are comfortable just being there, even though it's slowly hurting you. And understanding the concept of that nail being there makes you want to move forward in life because you acknowledge that it is there. So that was something that hit close to home for me because something I always got used to is just being on the same track. Actually being at Fry's for the longest time was because of that. You got so used to it being there, became family, it became this, that I was just used to it, right? Stephanie came along into my life and kind of made me realize that there's a nail that I might be sitting on and I need to move my ass.
is that the same Stephanie that's blushing right now?
Yeah, same one.
Just want to make sure.
One that matches her lipstick, yes. That was a good episode. Getting onto the team, doing the website, and the recordings have been amazing with all the guys here. The connection that I get with a lot of the guys is just listening to them and kind of taking my life and molding it into a better way. Getting my shit together by being on the podcast has helped me, especially through my mom and my dad. I don't know if you guys have heard on all that, but it means a lot. So these guys definitely give me a lot to me in the house, and yeah. But yeah, it was a good episode. One of my favorite episodes was actually the Adventure Day episode that we had, where we got to choose a whole adventure planned out for somebody else on the team. And I had Kyle.
Oh, yeah. We had
Kyle,
each
you
other.
had me, right?
Yeah, we had each other.
And I think,
I had Sam.
You have them.
Don't
I didn't
worry,
do that.
Steph.
okay.
Still matters.
So we were,
I don't know. That wasn't. That was busy with something.
You weren't a part of it.
No.
I was.
No, he was. He just thought he was too cool for us, so
Yeah,
whatever.
So he had to do his hair that day.
I
Yeah.
sure did.
I'm still trying to do the hair. That day, I chose Kyle to go to some random spots that I really wanted to go to. Some Japanese, what was it?
Rhododendron garden.
The rhododendron garden.
And the bonsai.
Bonsai.
Is at the same place.
Yeah. So
Over by
The warehouse.
yes, that.
yeah, Federal Way. So I sent him there, but my experience from Kyle became because of what was his first name?
Oh, Chambers Bay.
Chambers Bay.
Yeah.
I've never been there, and that place is beautiful. I don't know if you guys have ever gone. I love parks, especially my dog Gandalf. He's a big boy, German Shepherd. Going out with him. We haven't gone yet to Chambers Bay, but definitely when the summer comes around, it's going to be something different. Just getting the whole concept of different things from different people, I've enjoyed on the podcast. So it's definitely helping me get my shit together.
You damn right.
Damn.
Amit, that day was fun, and I have to tell you, anybody who knows me knows I don't like being inside. And if my friends invite me to a movie in the summer, I tell them to fuck off. Because I hate it.
What did you have to do, Kyle?
I had to go see an Indian movie. Not only did I have to go see a movie at noon, when it's 75 degrees outside, I had have to see a movie that I'm not going to understand a single word.
There were subtitles.
It was subtitles. It was. And it actually was a good movie.
It's
It
good
was
that
like,
the Indian movie is so
What
short.
movie was
it was legit the Indian version of Romeo and Juliet. I don't remember what it was called.
Or either,
I don't
man.
remember. But you had said you wanted to see it or whatever. I had never even heard of it. And it was actually super packed. There's no white folks in there. That was it, man.
Did you go on a weekend?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah, it
Saturday.
was Saturday.
It was Saturday at noon. And I was
Yeah.
like, who goes
You know
Saturday at
why?
noon?
Because it was cheapest.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's true. Good call. Good call.
Like,
It was-
excuse me, sir, you lost?
It was really weird. This guy sitting next to me had a bag of microwave popcorn that he took out of his jacket. So confused. But yeah, it was actually a good movie. And the rhododendron garden was pretty dope. I went there in the morning. I spent quite a bit of time there until I didn't really have time to eat before the movie because I spent so much time at the rhododendron garden. I went pretty much straight there, grabbed something to eat real quick. I think it was like taco time or something, and then went to the movie.
Yeah, you definitely need to do another adventure day.
Yeah, it was fun. That was a good time. Good shit. We're all looking at each other. Who goes next? I'm gonna go next because everybody's looking at me now. So I got a few things, and most of my highlights from all the podcasts was all of your highlights, right? Memorable things. The first thing I wrote down was Christian. The episode is Things That Make You Smile. I want to say it's like episode 10 or so, 12, give or take. What is that one, Rohit? Things That Make You Smile?
Toxicity's 14. I don't know. I think
Somewhere around there. We can figure that part out later. But we discuss things that make you smile, not things that make you just laugh, things that truly make you smile. One of the things that made me smile is, and Emily knows this, because I still do this every year. She thinks it's weird, and she goes to bed by herself when I do that. But during Christmas time, I love to see lights on a Christmas tree. One of my favorite Christmas movies is A Christmas Story. So I make it a point to lay on the couch, with a blanket or whatever, and just chill and watch the movie. And I usually fall asleep. I probably make it halfway through, maybe I finish the whole thing, but I fall asleep. Wake up in the middle of the night, I see Christmas lights, and it's like legit the happiest thing in the world for me. So that's something that really makes me smile from my soul. And one of the things that Christian shared was his story about these Moravian cookies. Does anybody know what a Moravian cookie is?
I still have them upstairs.
Do you?
Look, we're eating them.
Grab them. Go grab them. Well, it's going to grab Moravian cookies. But while we're here, does anybody know what they are?
No.
No? Me neither. I have no clue.
How old are these cookies, Rohit? Don't worry, you're only 5 years old.
Yeah, they
Sitting in the
might
pocket.
taste weird.
Yeah.
They might taste weird. We're gonna find out.
Got dust bunnies on it.
First.
Yeah.
He told this story from a point of view that it was just something so special about his childhood. I think it was he was saying his grandma would bring him these cookies. It was like the greatest thing in the world, and he loved these cookies, and he associated with that. And that was a really, really huge highlight for me. I wrote a few down, kind of one for all y'all, so I'm gonna share them real quick. Sam and our boy Sam was part of the podcast for quite some time. He does a lot of the audio still now. He recently went to Cambodia for the first time as an adult with his dad and his mom, and to go see a bunch of other family. And he shared a story with us about how him and his dad went to go see the original Star Wars in the theaters way back in the day. Because Sam's like 50, so when the first movie came out, he was probably 12 or 13, I don't remember. But when he was in Cambodia, they went to go see, was it Rogue One? Do you remember? It was Star Wars. And I can't remember if it was Rogue One or
What's the one
episode
before
7.
that?
No, it might have been episode 7.
Yeah.
I think it was episode 7. I forget. But he mentioned how it brought back so many memories for him when he was a child, spending time with his family. And being in Cambodia, right, a place he hadn't really been to since his infancy, really, was huge. Rohit, one of the things I remember most about an episode from you was how after a while you began to equate food with love.
Oh,
Because someone very special to you would always bring you home a bag of chips from work.
yeah.
What kind of chips were they? Was it Fritos? I can't remember what it was.
Sweet and sour, Lay's sweet and sour
Lay's.
Lay's potato chips.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That really hit home to me, and obviously I remember it now, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that. That was absolutely huge. Rohit shared this story with us about how his mom would always bring him a bag of chips back, and he loved chips ever since then.
It was interesting because a lot of times what we do is if we see things in ourselves that we want to change, we have to go back in time and find out when that event happened that caused this for us. And when I discovered this, at the time I wasn't happy with how much I weighed. And so I went back and kept on asking myself, okay, what happened before then? What happened before then? And it was when I was a kid. I think you were born at the time. I don't remember. But every now and then, my mom would, if she's going home, would walk by the vending machine, had some spare change, and brings home just a little bag of Lay's sweet and sour.
Sour cream and
sour cream and onion potato chips. And without realizing it, I'm like 3-4 years old. Subconsciously, what I developed was, if I get these bags, this bag of chips from my mom, it equals love, because it means like she was going about her day and she thought of me, and that's what she did. And again, this isn't something that I did consciously as a kid. It's just subconsciously it happens. And I think we're all in that. And there's been so many times when, kind of like you were saying, well, even amongst ourselves, we'll be talking about something and someone will say something. And it's just like, oh, like, you're right. It sparks something. And, yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think at one point or another, all of us have been emotional on air.
Yeah.
Some more than others.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a baby.
You big softy. And I'm the Cancer. I'm supposed to be the emotional
You're
one.
the Cancer?
Yeah.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
Sorry. I know. But yeah, no, the last one was Amit. When you guys probably all know, you're probably friends with most of these people more so. But Amit legit almost died. Right? You were out for a while. You were going through a lot. Spiritually, physically, and emotionally, right? We'll say all of the above. And when you came back and got a chance to record with us, and you shared that when you were in the hospital, all you could think about was being back in the podcast studio, that meant a lot.
Yeah, man. I feel safe.
Yeah.
You guys helped me a lot in my life. Especially episode 91, the suicide episode, was very, very tough on me. And you guys helped a lot. A lot in that. So, yeah. For us. Can't believe it's been 100 episodes. So
Yeah, I know, right? I was trying to think. I don't remember the numbers of any of these episodes.
I know.
None of this stuff came up. I do remember one, though, because I put it on, and it was one where I shared a lot of things very personal to me. It was Learning to Let Go. I think it was episode either 44 or 42. I can't remember now, but it's in our bio on the website, which you guys will see. It'll be up tomorrow.
Are we partying after this?
Well, I just heard that deadlines are what eliminate procrastination recently. So I figured I'd put a deadline on some stuff.
You got a pretty hard deadline now, man.
I'm taking a shot. Where's that?
But
Well, good thing.
But yeah.
So those the audience at home, this episode isn't actually launching until Valentine's Day.
is it actually not that day?
Yeah, so you've got some time, bro.
Got some time.
You got tomorrow, so the day after. February 15th. There you go.
Wait a second.
Steph's like, no, that's fine. We don't have anything going on.
He's good. Yeah. What is Valentine's Day?
Oh.
14th of February.
Oh, I wasn't asking myself. It was from a joking perspective of Stephanie.
Emily's not
I
lying.
have a very comfortable couch for you, Kyle. You can always feel my couch when you need it. It was a really bad joke gone really bad.
Sorry.
Why are you saying sorry to me?
It was jokingly insinuating you're not the most romantic man. Stephanie didn't know what Valentine's Day was, but it clearly went Or
I feel like you do this a lot, where you tell a joke and then you have to explain it because no one's laughing.
That's the monkey in him, though.
I just wish everyone was as smart as me. That's really all it is.
Oh, what about you, Gunnar? You were up next to join our ranks.
Yeah, it sure was. It's been, what, 7 months? No, more than that now, right? 8
April,
months?
I think, is when you joined.
Long enough to have a baby.
Christina?
Not Final Fantasy. So this episode has, this podcast has meant a lot to me in a way as I've gotten a lot of self-reflection. And most of it is, there are a bunch of questions about myself that I've never even thought about asking. Right? Why do I do this? Why am I like this? Why am I thinking about this? This podcast has helped me realize those things and work on the programs that I've set on myself from years ago, right? That I might have done that I didn't even know about. The couple of few episodes that's really puts it out for me was Circle of Influence, right? I thought about myself throughout how I, grew up and the people who are in my life and how much my circle of influence have changed over the years and how much that has affected my programs, right? So there's this, it was just baffling realizing all these things that hits right hard, right, to my heart. The one other episode that I always think about that I want to keep doing, which really helps me just for myself, is the meditation episode. I think about that episode a lot, and in that episode, what I do is, what my task was to list out all the different stress that I have. Right, all these different things that I have to do, either it's for work, my personal, whatever. And just, as Kyle said, make a deadline and start checking those things off. Because that will help my stress level, right? Which, it's kind of funny enough, because of that stress level, I started doing certain things, which created a program that I didn't even realize about. I'm jumping around a lot of things, but funny enough, how everything connects with each other so much. And I never realized it before. So with this podcast, I'm, very thankful for this, within just 8 months that I have so much to learn. I can only imagine that, 22 countries and some random numbers that he brought out?
Yeah. What were the statistics? Do you remember?
Let me go get them.
10,541.
Yeah. Just this last recording session, he brought up a bunch of statistics about the podcast that we have. How many listens? What is he doing?
He's
For those of you just listening, that's the sound of Rohit dancing upside down.
Yep.
The rest of it in our part.
Yes, yeah.
He sounded like Lord of the Rings Frodo. Just trying to
Oddly enough, for one Christmas, I got him some Hobbit feet slippers.
Did you?
Yeah.
Is he one of those under his shoes?
I don't think he needs shoes.
No. Those shoes.
It's those big feet,
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, what are the statistics? I can fucking speak.
So as of this recording, which 98, yeah, so we're a couple of weeks behind. But as of early January, we had been listened to over 22,000 times.
Yeah.
And what I did was I took a look at the countries where we have more than like 10 listeners and stuff. U.S., Canada, and this is in order. U.S., Canada, Japan. We're huge there. So Kyle, thank your relatives.
We got you. We all got technology over there.
So US, Canada, Japan, UK, Australia, Germany, Ireland, France, New Zealand, Sweden, Israel, United Arab Emirates, India. What? That's always
Yeah, 75% of this podcast is Indian.
Right?
And y'all are at the bottom of the list. Somebody ain't pulling their weight.
Israel's beating.
You know what? That should be a 2018 goal.
And there's
Right.
a billion
Get
of
that
us
India
too.
up there.
Yeah.
60% now.
Well, up until recently, though, is what I'm
Up
saying.
until recently.
Saudi Arabia, Philippines, Austria, Korea, South Africa, Slovakia, China, and Taiwan.
Emily doing her part. She ain't even on a podcast. Bringing in the Philippines. Shout out to the Philippines.
So last year we hit about 11,000 listens. So not too bad.
Not too bad at all. Not too
No.
bad at all. Good shit.
So with that,
No,
It does
man.
help.
No.
no,
You forgot about this cubby over
we're
here.
not done yet.
My man over here.
I'm just finishing up on my part.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Come on, man.
I wanted to make sure. I thought you was going to try and close it
You guys
out.
been married now?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
I'm still trying natal.
Is that true, Christina?
No, no. You're nasty.
Liar.
He is.
In 22 countries.
No.
Okay, guys.
It's illegal in 22 countries.
22 countries are hearing about your anal experience right now.
Oh my God.
I don't even have this anal experience yet.
Wow!
You edit that part out?
Sam,
Cut
we will
that
keep
part
that
out.
in this.
Just breathe.
Swear, Sam, you cut that out.
We didn't even talk about you and.
Whoa.
What are you
Next subject.
You know what I mean?
Are you done?
Yeah, I think so. I think that should be it. I'm done.
Wow. So as for my part, you know, I'm still fresh to this. It's fresh meat. I'm fresh meat. I'm a big hunk of meat. Hey, how's it going? I'm still finding my place in all this, but all my experience with this it's been a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot better than me sitting down and just playing video games every night. So,
I'll agree with you.
which I think was what Rohit had in mind when he asked me. One just plays video games. I need to get his ass up off the couch and sit him down in a chair and record all day. So that's that's where that came from. But,
Sit in a different chair.
yeah, I get to sit in a different chair. It's a little more comfy.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've had a lot of good experiences just out of the few episodes I've been a part of. Heck, we were recording about some fun childhood experiences, and that brought out a lot of good memories for me. So, I had a good time recording, just talking about going to Wrigley Field.
Oh, yeah.
Something that's pretty, pretty fun to even remember, just to remember. And being able to share that kind of experience and hopefully help someone else look for those experiences as well is kind of a big thing for me. And that, yeah, I love all these guys. That's huge. Good stuff. Right, what do you got?
I guess I'm up. Huh? For me, it's different than it is for you guys. When I moved up here, I really struggled for a long time. When I was back in Olympia, I had a circle of influence that was extremely successful. I was having dinner with millionaires, and just that was my circle of friends. And when I came up here, for the longest time, I really struggled because I felt like I'm diving into personal development, and it's one of those things to where if you don't have a group of friends who is also involved in that, you tend to lose motivation if you're running on self-motivation all the time. And to think now, years later, where my circle of influence and my best friends are the exact same. It's so awesome when I have one-on-one conversations with each of these guys, and they're talking about what this has meant to them, or interacting with all of you guys and having the same thing, or Erica's mom and her GYST cup that she loves. It's just really awesome. And and to think all these countries, just because of one idea. I'm having these conversations with Kyle anyways. Let's just stick a microphone in the middle. And now the people of Slovakia are so happy. They are. And so just to kind of think about that. Like it's just kind of weird. And to think that we're here not only celebrating, our belated Christmas party, but having all of you guys here to help with this as well. It's really amazing. And I think if I had to go back to one of my favorite memories, it's Kirk Thomas. A lot of you guys worked with Kirk. And one day I was walking around the building and I heard Kirk. He had no idea I was there. I was far away. There's no way he could have seen me. I'm not the tallest guy in the room. And
No. Likely the shorts.
Sean, Emily, do you guys mind coming up here? Sorry. But I heard him talking to his teammates about the podcast. And he had no idea I was there. And he's like, oh man, you guys have to listen to them. They say the dumbest stuff out there, and it's hilarious, but it's kind of like an 80s sitcom to where once you put up with that, all the way at the end, there's Kyle Reed's 2-minute takeaway, and he does this, a nice recap. And I started hearing that more and more and more. We started getting, emails from people all over, like, who was it? In New York. Alyssa in New York.
Oh, yeah.
We had some people reach out to us.
Or something. Yeah.
And it's just fantastic thing that there are people who aren't even associated with us, who didn't hear about it from one of our Facebooks or whatever, who have been influenced in a positive way around this. And I think that's what's really cool, is every time I have someone new come to one of our parties or someone new coming on air, they always talk about how amazing of an environment this is. And just real quick, if you have had a chance to attend one of my seminars, could I just see your hands? Okay. Like even that just means so much to me, because I realize if I don't have that group, then why can't I create that group? Why can't I find other people who want to move forward in their life? And I'm doing the same thing. And I'm telling you, like, this is my notebook, and every episode gets its own page, and there are times when this is like just filled to the brim, when I'm barely talking on air. I'm just listening to these guys, and they have such amazing content. It's not like any of us have arrived. It's not like we're like, hey, we're up here, you guys aren't. Listen to us. It's not completely all that. No, but what I'm saying is every time you turn around, there's a learning opportunity. Just the past episode we just recorded that Glenn was talking about, it was seeing the world, how to see the world through children's eyes. And that's learning through children. Like probably what you saw me doing earlier, running around, But there's learning opportunities everywhere. And there's so many people who want to just share in the excitement of life. And just to think that, from one idea we're here now is just amazing to me.
He was.
I know.
You would have said, it was great.
Oh, man. I digress. This is awkward.
Doesn't have to be.
Anybody want to join?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Gentlemen.
it's time!
Time!
They don't want this.
No.
Kyle Reed's 2-minute takeaway!
This is clearly.
Can we hum a movie voice, guy?
Yeah, well, actually, here's the movie.
I know! That's what you're like.
the movie voice, guys. More like that.
Yeah.
He's used to pounding on a table with a nice felt tablecloth.
Yeah, I was like,
Instead of quartz countertops. Yeah, this is real good.
So, Carl, before you move forward,
Yeah.
I want to see if we want to open up the floor.
Good call.
So you guys want to do that again?
Come on up here. Yeah.
So if anybody wants to, floor is open. If anybody wants to share anything, any way how this podcast has affected you, feel free to come.
nice and close. We got to hear you on the mic.
Way to make us feel slightly intimidating. Eyes on eyes, like we planned.
Or do you want to
All
stay
right.
in your comfort zone?
No, it's okay. I'm good. Okay, so am I just supposed to go?
Well,
Okay. Hi, I'm Sean, and I actually just wanted to say thank you to everybody up here. You guys have done an incredible job, and I have literally seen a lot of the people here go from being great guys, really good guys, to amazing men. I've seen them go from, I'm working at Zones, to, all right, I'm working at Zones and now I'm getting married. Oh shit, I'm bringing a wife into the picture. I've got to get everything together and just going at it. I've seen this amazing guy right here. Roll it. Stop paying attention to my brother. All right.
Why do you only ever say that to men?
Protected.
All right, so I have seen my brother go from literally 4 years ago to, all right, I got this house and things are great, things are moving in a better direction, and that's it. That's kind of where it stopped. And then suddenly, overnight, it just became, all right, done with this past part of my life and on to the next. And he did an amazing job at bringing in so many other people who are just incredible guys and really taking after and changing the world. But on top of that, the material that you guys cover is amazing. And my family, my dad and I, my friends and I, we end up actually watching and talking about the topics. And I end up going right back to my brother. A year ago, center of influence, completely different. And what it is now is just, it's amazing. You guys do a really good job.
Thank you.
I'll come real quick.
All right.
She was like, go up there, please. So Emily Badsley. And I was railroaded. Rohit told me to come and watch a podcast. So I came and watched the podcast. And then he was like, well, actually, we kind of want you to do the podcast. And here's a list of topics. Pick one.
yeah. Yep.
So I think I picked humility, and the only reason I picked that one, in all honesty, is because I have a huge character defect, but humility, like I have none. So I thought, with a lot of cases when it comes to Rohit, if there's a discussion and there's a topic and we're going back and forth, I learn far more from him than I'm ever able to really actually give. The conversations that I get to have with you, that my husband gets to have with you, that my children get to have with you, has changed our household. The kids do yearly goal setting stuff. They write in their journals about what they did great that month and what they want to do better next month. And a lot of the tools that we've gotten in our home have come from you. And I always know that when I pick up the phone, even if it's just to verbally vomit or cry or be like, hey, I need tea, I'm going to come over. You're always there, and I really appreciate that. The men in the room on the team are Sam. Shout out to Sam, too. Really love Sam. He's kind of one of my fans. These guys are magnificent men, and it's probably one of the only places that I can be surrounded by men where my husband's like, oh, you're going to Rohit's? Okay.
Shouldn't you be intimidated or something?
No. Not at all.
No, I kill a fish. No. So I'm really grateful that I've been able to be a part of the podcast and that I've been able to, that you've introduced me to all your friends, because not only does he have like a multitude of really hot Asian females in his life, but it's just amazing, but he's got a whole bunch of like really, really good people who are really wanting to be good people, you know what I mean? And just kind of walking through life like the rest of us. My favorite part about it is that you're transparent about it, that you're not trying to be something that you're not, and that you're transparent about the difficulties and the extreme excitement of getting married and, you know, having dogs and doing all of that cool stuff too. So thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. Oh, shucks.
All hamburgers.
I need to move that.
Fucking
Did you see that?
Why did you cry?
Alright.
Anybody else?
I'll go real quick.
You're so hot.
All right. You asked for
I
it.
don't even know. He takes off the turtleneck.
I can't wait to see him take off that turtleneck.
It's
gonna be so difficult for him to get over his head.
You're gonna have to pay me.
This is Matt Badgley, and for those of you that can't see me, which is everybody that's listening to the podcast, I'm sporting this awesome, ugly sweater, because this is kind of like a Christmas party / awesome podcast thing. I wasn't going to come up here and talk because I kind of want to go home. But I'm thinking to myself, all of the memories that I've had the opportunity with this podcast and with Rohit and the people in this room that I consider friends, which is most of them. And I could probably be up here for a half hour or more talking about how awesome this team is. Because to me, that's what this is. It's a team. It's not just a team that creates this podcast, but it's a team of listeners also. And just like Rohit said earlier, all over the world, not just in this country. If I had to sum up how I feel today, it would be grateful. I feel immensely grateful that I get to experience this today. And every time I get to come over here and discuss things with Rohit and Tim, it's an amazing feeling for me. And I was also thinking over the years, all the different things I've gotten to see and how this podcast has grown and how the people involved have grown. And it dawned on me that even though this is the 100th episode, to me this feels like it's the beginning. Like it's the start of something wonderful. Because there's a very good following. There's a lot of people that listen to this and a lot of people that got to come today and experience this. So to me, this is like the beginning of wonderfulness that's about to happen. So I say share it with your friends. Email us. I mean, if you feel good about these podcasts, wouldn't you want everybody else to share it in the feelings that you have? So why not spread it? So thank you guys.
Thank you.
One more. Oh shit.
Come on up.
Is that your phone? Oh,
It's okay, we're not censored, don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah. I still don't know where you got that from.
I jump up to that.
You deal?
Yeah.
That's what he's known for.
Or like
Yeah.
you just saying fuck call.
Yeah.
I just say fuck call.
True story.
All right. So I am beyond honored to be here as part of your 100 podcast for GYST. I just have to say one thing. It's as if the universe puts you in front of people that truly make an impact in your life. And I say this because as we look at back in some of the GYST podcasts, we talk about living with negative people. And how do you do that? And how do you move past not letting them take control of you? And I reached out to Rohit and I said, Rohit, man, help me here. Like it's a rough time. And as has been said before, he answers his phone. He listens. But more so, this podcast and the great amount of minds on this podcast, most of them, all of them, it's this shit's real. Like I've learned to how do you truly unfuck yourself? Okay, to be blunt. How do you get outside of your own fucking head? Can I say that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Fucking! Woo! Sorry. Don't take it away. Oh, no, that's fine. That's yours. So, I just want to say, I appreciate what this podcast is and what it does, and how there have been so many meaningful topics that have come up at the right moment when I need that extra piece that the 5 of you brought to my life without even knowing. And it's just an honor for me to have you guys on my phone, to listen to it when I'm driving to and from work, when I'm flying back and forth to California. I want you guys to know that you guys are really a part of what I do and how I work every day with my phone. And I do share GYST with my friends and my colleagues, because you guys are making a difference. And I'm so proud of you, all of you. So thank you so much. Okay, look up. Too much fucking emotion.
So I just want to do a quick note up here. Thank you guys, everybody who has shared so far, and after me, if anybody wants to go ahead, please feel free to. Matt, kind of what's something that you brought up right now, and it's funny because a couple of weeks ago we just talked about just that. You said this is just the beginning, and a couple of weeks ago, and considering this is the 100th episode, we had a really heartwarming conversation between all of us, which was, I think, a pretty big eye-opener for all of us, I would say, right? It was about where we want to take this podcast from here, right? And like what Rohit brought up is how many people we have affected through this podcast, and not just people in this room, but also to all those 22 different countries out there, right? This is the changing point, right? We will, and as Roy says, and I think that's from one of the authors, I'm not sure, what got us here will not take us where we want to go. What got us here is 100th episode. It's not going to take us to the 200th episode, the 1000th episode. We're going to need to evolve. We will evolve. We will keep evolving. And our whole goal is that all our listeners will evolve with us. That's all I want you.
I did not realize Tom was running for president.
Come on, call it 2020.
All right, girl, we gotta do it.
Whether you're ready or not, spotlight.
Yeah, I'll say some words.
Yeah, all right, come on up here. Close B.
Jose, I just want to let you know you are the second Mexican appearing on GYST Podcast. I have not said anything racist this whole time. It's driving me nuts.
Then why do you have such a big wall in your house?
Oh, it's such a way of what?
You brought tacos.
I did.
No, that would be here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah.
No, Jack.
I didn't bring tequila.
Oh, okay.
Actually, the Jew brought the tacos. Okay, I want to be quick about it because I started listening about last year. I think the first episode I listened to was Bosses versus Leaders. It kind of got me look into where I was at in my workplace and kind of see. I mean, we all work with Axons together. And just kind of showed me, like, holy crap, a lot of these guys are bosses. They're not leaders. They kind of are just trying to get us to where they want us to be, not trying to fully develop us and think of us. And then one episode that really hit hard for me was the suicide one back a few weeks back. That opened up a huge conversation with my older brother. We talked for like 2 hours right after that episode. I've had a rocky relationship with him. It helped us grow and be better brothers because we've always been rocky. So through this podcast, it's kind of
You're noticing the changes.
Yeah, noticing the changes and noticing the changes within myself. I'm learning to let go of the little things that bug me in my life a lot of times and be able to fully grow as the person I want to be. So I want to thank you guys because this podcast has been great for me. So, thank you.
Show me episodes. All right, good. We got a crew of people who have stuck it out with us this evening. Thank y'all. We've been recording for quite some time. It's a little late in the evening now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know, right? So I'm expecting Amit to hurt his fingers again.
What? Everybody knows what to do, right? As soon as I say it, you echo it.
Okay.
Ready?
Oh, you're about to do it? Okay. I was giving my time, but go for it.
I'm gonna fuck up.
Positivity, man.
You got no rhythm.
Not positive.
You see the desert.
Not positive. I'm just like stuck myself.
All right, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time!
It's time
for Kyle Reed's 2-minute takeaway!
That was good.
Yeah.
Amit, you're fired.
One
You all
versus
are expected to be here every other Tuesday. About 6:05-ish. Come with some refreshments, please.
Oh, may I say something real quick before?
Yes.
I always do this to you. I feel so bad. I was interrupted your 2-minute takeaway. So we'll have Amit do it.
Luckily, all I need is 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, we're busy. We got things to do.
What is 2 whole minutes?
Not 150.
Not 150. No, 120 seconds. Damn it.
There's 3 people that I especially want to identify: Emily Nabua, Stephanie Tran, and Christina Sapon. Well, 2 of you guys have been married. We're still waiting for Kyle to.
Stephanie and Christina who?
Yeah, you want to say that?
Stephanie who? Wait, how did I mess up?
Yeah, I don't know. Christina who? Who's that? I don't
Christina
know
who?
that.
What? Christina Sapon.
Wow.
Christina who?
I'm married.
Well, I know. I did that on purpose. Because then I was talking about Kyle and like.
You did it, Kyle.
I did it on purpose.
Fucked up a joke.
Again.
We have an opening if anybody would like to.
He's telling it.
Okay. So, anyways, I'd like to especially thank the 3 of you guys. It's not easy coming up here and recording every day, and every other week, and it's far from being easy. And what you're seeing right now is the fun stuff. But before we even came down here, we were upstairs meeting. We had a real heart-to-heart this past Tuesday to go over a lot of stuff. I mean, it's not easy. And there are times when we don't leave the studio till like 10, 11 at night. And then these guys then have to drive out. So I especially want to thank Emily, Stephanie, and Christina for their support in allowing their significant others to be a part of this. And not only do I thank you, not only does the team thank you, But the people of Slovakia, thank you.
And Japan, and Germany, the Philippines, and Netherlands.
And you know what's weird? Does anybody in here know anyone from Wyoming?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Okay, so when we take a look at our statistics,
Bobby Brooks is from
every
Wyoming.
single and she said she was going to be here today too, calling you out.
She lied. Damn it, Bobby.
But every single state in the United States has listened to this podcast. We have 0 in Wyoming.
They don't have internet.
Like, there are more people in Nigeria listening to us than Wyoming.
We
Like,
don't have the interweb.
Yellowstone, get your act together. Where you at, Bears?
Somebody needs to
Buffalo
reach out to one of those
Bison?
8 people.
Where you at, Bison? You got nothing on us.
They got more elk.
Even North Dakota listens?
Yeah, every single one.
Even North Dakota.
Remember we
There's
looked
12 people.
in,
North Dakota.
so
All 12 of them listen. Good for you.
Yeah, only 3 of them have mobile phones.
So do you remember our first QBR that we had? And I showed you the map of every state that listens to us.
Yeah.
And like the Midwest was all blank. And I put a big like arrow and I said, white people do not like us.
Flyover state.
That's why they brought me in. I'm the token.
They don't like our numbers.
That's right. So the Midwest, I brought you the Midwest. Yes.
Glenn, you have penetrated everything but Wyoming.
That's coming.
It's coming.
That's what she
It's in
said.
the process.
That's what she said.
I know people in Wyoming.
These motherfuckers, they listen.
They will be.
Make some phone calls, damn it.
I'm not making an offer like Edward feels.
That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, let's wrap. Let's wrap like a prison. So first of all, I want to thank all of you guys for all being here. I know part of it was due to this late Christmas party where I forgot I was wearing a Christmas sweater. when I went to,
How can you forget that?
Well,
It's pretty loud.
when I went to Safeway to pick up some snacks, the ladies behind the deli were looking at us laughing and like pointing, and I'm like, what are you bitches laughing at? And I look down, I'm like, yep, it's the sweater. And then I'm in line checking out, people are like, that guy's fucking weird.
It's laundry day.
Yeah, he's handsome as hell, but he's fucking weird.
So if you want to know what we're talking about, tune into our YouTube video. Oh, you remembered. Oh, good call.
Yeah, bring it all, player. I bring it all, because I can't remember, so I had to bring shit. It reminds me. So with that 2-minute takeaway, I mean, today's episode is really all about reflecting on what this podcast has meant to us. Thank you guys for telling us what it has meant to you, especially Matt and Emily and Sean and Bose B down here. And I mean, and really it's just been highlights for us, right? I mean, this is really, as you mentioned, kind of just the start of something new. It's I believe the podcast will go in a totally different direction now, moving forward, with all the growth that we've had. So thank you guys all for listening. Thank you all for tuning in and witnessing our growth as we grow with you. With that said, that wraps up 100th episode. Anybody got anything else? No? Golden? All right. So, thank y'all for tuning in. Go ahead and hit us up on Facebook, GYST Podcast, GYSTpodcast.com. Get your shit together. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. How many people in here have Android phones? What's your favorite podcast player?
Google Play.
Google Play? All right, just built in native app, huh? Anybody else got anything different? No? Google Play Store and the music apps and all that good stuff? Okay, cool. Well, we're on there, so make sure we're on your phones. iPhones, the rest of y'all got iPhones, I would imagine? Go ahead.
I imagine.
70% of this room has iPhones. But you
We
don't
don't.
forget to remind me. 1% of this room. Can those things play podcasts? I'm just kidding. But seriously, I say this all seriousness. Please take a look at it, take a listen, share it, leave us some feedback. It means a ton to us, and it helps shape the direction the podcast is going. We do this for ourselves, but we also do it for you. And if we don't have the right content, we're not going in the right direction that you want to see us go, let us know. We need to know, because we can't make those changes. So Thank you all again, and tune in next week for another edition of your favorite episode of your favorite podcast, the GYST Podcast. Thanks again, y'all.
Also known as Get Your
Shit.
Together.
Together. I got it.
We're not together on that.
What? I'm pointing to you, not the wall.
I.
Bye. Is that a wrap?
That's all right.
Thank you! So we will clear this off real quick, and then we are just chugging the bottles.
We got a home, got a bed.
All the way to beer.
Oh, no, I'm not.
You were